And good morning to you. I hope you're having a great start to your Thursday as you are just waking up this morning, or maybe you are already heading out. I know a lot of people that tell us that they carry the show with them while they're driving. Do me a favor though, and please do not look down at the show. Just listen for the message of the morning. If you're new to the show, good morning. And let me introduce myself. I'm your host, Monica Adams, the Real Monica Adams Show. And we ask you to share the show with your friends, your family. Let them know to watch some inspiration. We give you some news you can use. Sometimes it has a local tie, regional, national, international. We will break down all that for you this morning. We'll also give you some weather that is to our specific area, St. Louis, Missouri. Obviously, if there's everything that is more so from a travel standpoint that we need to know about that's outside of our area, I'll give you that as well. But I also like to know where you're watching from. So drop in a comment and get to know your community. I was telling somebody yesterday, I love how you all pop on, you say good morning, you start talking to each other as if we are actually live, because again, this is your show. So we are going to talk about a lot of things. I'm actually bringing a topic up from a very popular show that we started right here in the very beginning back in 2023, and it had to do with the dangers of perfectionism. And today we're going to transfer it, kind of a part two, into more of the art of grace. So how many times do you actually give yourself grace? Think about that. So it is a wave of wellness, writing it today. Michael Phelps, by the way, the mindful movement, the art of grace. We're going to tie it all in, finding balance, thriving, releasing control, embracing grace, and conquering perfectionism. And what does that look like? Again, you'll never reach it. So let me just give you that right now. You are never going to be perfect. However, I will want you to be very interactive with me today to be honest and, say, yep, that's me. I'm constantly trying to be perfect. And that's what the stressors are all about. So we'll go through all of that today. We're going to be visiting with Angie Hess from Spas and More. And we'll talk about some really cool things coming up for Master Spas and for Spas and More. And we'll be talking about Michael Phelps. How does he stay in such great shape? What does he do? I mean, we loved him in the Olympics, right? So what did he always do to take care of himself in the off season? We'll discuss all of that and some new models coming out with Spas and More. By the way, last night had a chance to see The Outsiders, the Tony Award winner Best Musical that runs at the Fabulous Fox through January 18th. It was incredible. I could not wait to get to my feet and give them a standing ovation. Unbelievable. It is now going to be in one of my top, definitely in the top five. I'm a big fan of Les Miserables. I'm a big fan of Phantom of the Opera. Now The Outsiders is absolutely in that. We had a chance, remember, a couple of weeks ago to talk to Mark Doyle. Follow him on Instagram. And if you go and see it, and I hope you do, shoot him a message. Shoot all the guys a message. I mean, I could not be more proud of this performance. I was wondering, because it was one of my favorite books growing up. What about all of you? Did you read the book? Did you watch the movie? I ran into a bunch of friends in media last night. Debbie Monterey, shout out to you from KMOX. Debbie was saying that she read the book. She has no idea how many times, watched the movie probably 50 times, and couldn't wait when we saw this in the lineup to go see it and wonder how it was going to play out on stage, right? It was unbelievable. The special effects. There is a Corvette that comes out on stage. There's rain that comes falling down. I mean, so many people that put on this performance beyond the actors. You all should be so unbelievably proud. I'm giving it this 5 stars out of 5 stars. So if you thought about it and you haven't bought tickets yet, go. The Outsiders, new musical at the Fabulous Fox Theater. Again, running through January 18th. I'm going to tell you right now, if you miss it, you will kick yourself. Don't miss it. All right, everybody, what's it going to look like this week? So today, I do want you to be aware there is a low risk of maybe some severe rain and storms. 66 for our high today. It's going to be very windy as we get down to 49 tonight. And that's really what's going to break this warm spell we've had. We get into tomorrow and 54, partly sunny, 38 tonight. Saturday, a morning shower and definitely chillier, 43 for the high. Sunday, wind chills, by the way, in the 20s. So it's going to feel like that more so. 34 for your high. And we get into next week. Now we're into that average temperature on Monday at 48. But Tuesday rises to 52. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, definitely going to feel a little bit more like winter. We're going to be in the upper 30s to low 40s. So get ready for that. Okay, let's get into some news that you can use. And I know that I often often tell you that I prefer not to give you negative news, right? But this is a story that everyone is talking about. No matter what station, this is the top story. And I'm only giving it to you because the woman has ties to Missouri, not St. Louis, but Kansas City, Missouri. This woman that was fatally shot by the ICE agents, and I know a lot of you are following the story, confirmed to have ties right here to the state of Missouri. So this Honda Pilot that you're going to see on many social media feeds has a Missouri plate. The motorist was shot and killed by an immigration and customs enforcement officer south of downtown Minneapolis. This Pilot with Missouri license plates and a bullet hole in the front windshield was seen with crime scene tape around it right after the shooting. According to CBS, a U.S. official has confirmed the victim is 37-year-old Renee Good. Jackson County, Missouri court records list a 2023 address in Kansas City for her. U.S. Senator Tina Smith said she was a U.S. citizen. Minneapolis city leaders confirmed she was a legal observer of federal actions and was not a target for an ICE-related arrest. Now, I will stress, I would prefer that you not try to seek out this video. I was putting the news together for you this morning and unfortunately saw this play out. There was a physician on the side asking if he could go get a pulse. They said no, they had their own medics. A lot of screaming that was taking place. Again, Renee Good, 37-year-old mother of three who had recently moved to Minnesota. She was a U.S. citizen born in Colorado, appears to have never been charged with anything involving law enforcement beyond a traffic ticket. But as you watch the video, or again, I'm asking you not to, but when I did, that SUV was blocking the road and those agents were in the road. They asked her to step out of the car and then she floors it. And that's when I'm seeing the shooting. Obviously, I don't want to go deeper into it. There's probably a lot of politics that you all want to drop in. If you do, you do. Again, this is your show, so feel free to comment in any way. I'm just giving it to you because there's ties to Missouri. There's probably a lot more to come out in this. I may or may not cover it on the show, but at least I don't want us to be void to, again, what's going on in the news. All right, are you going to travel? Well, heads up to this. U.S. citizens can visit some countries without a visa now. So if you are going to be traveling anytime soon, I think you might want to know about this. U.S. citizens enjoy visa-free access to 180 destinations thanks to their globally powerful passports. And starting this year, U.S. travelers must apply to enter 30 European countries visa-free. For the countries that do require visas, the process can be different for each destination, with some offering visas upon arrival, others making it necessary to consult visits with the embassy. For most Americans, though, the main thing you have to worry about before you jet off on vacation, make sure your passport's up to date. U.S. citizens can travel to most European, Caribbean, and Central and South American countries without a visa. However, that doesn't mean you never have to check if your destination of choice requires one, as the rules do frequently change. So, again, how many times do I tell you, check in with your carrier. Be a very educated traveler. You know, you don't want to get there and then you've got all these people ready to go with you and then suddenly you're held back. So be smart, or if you're working with a travel agent, make sure that they give you that all information as well. So, you know, I talked the other day about Dr. Oz, and I was talking about how much I love that book, You, the Owner's Manual. Well, did you see him? Dr. Oz saying alcohol lets people bond and socialize amid new dietary guidelines. And these are changing, by the way. You know, I love to talk about the latest changes in nutrition, etc. Calling alcohol, quote, a social lubricant, Dr. Oz, the administrator of the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, was asked about the removal of specific daily drink amounts from the guidelines. And his quote is, "There's probably nothing healthier than having fun with friends in a safe way. In the best case scenario," this is a quote from him, "I don't think you should drink alcohol." Health Secretary Robert Kennedy issued the new guidelines that go from 2025 to 2030, and it offers updated recommendations for a healthy diet, provides the foundation for federal nutrition programs and policies. And we've seen a huge movement, have we not, in the last sure, of people removing alcohol, getting sober curious. There's a lot of you right now that might be doing dry January. Have you changed in the resolutions? Have you changed a lot of things that that you did in the past that involved alcohol? Let me know that. Feel free to drop in comments because I like to know my community. We're talking about the new changes and looking at the new pyramid when it comes to nutrition. New guidelines released following through on the administration's pledge to make America healthy again. The Trump administration announced new guidelines that could impact impact what millions of students eat for lunch. The federal nutrition recommendations unveiled urge you to eat more protein. How many times have we said that? More whole grains, less sugar, effectively quit eating highly processed foods. But are you listening to it? Even if you change a little bit, at least that's movement, right? At that White House press briefing, the dietary guidelines came out saying it could impact your students. So they're curious, of course, about many guidelines. They're not mandates, by the way, they're guidelines. What are the practical effects of these guidelines on public schools all across the country? Well, today begins the first new day in a recalibration, whether it's school lunches, whether it's the SNAP program, whether it's, as veterans were mentioned, prison system that they now begin the process of implementing, redrafting the rules to reflect what this new guideline for Americans is looking like. A lot of work to do. They said nothing changes overnight. But again, as you're seeing in the pyramid, protein, dairy, healthy fats, vegetables, fruits, way up top. Whole grains, yes, but it follows a lot of really going back. My doctor always talks about the caveman diet. Are you eating that way? Have you made changes? I hope so. All right, excited for St. Louis. The skating competition is in town. Are you going? It's going to bring millions of dollars to St. Louis. The epicenter right there at Enterprise Center. Will you be going? Did you get tickets? The event is expected to lead to $14 million in local spending, bringing more than $1 million in revenue. Super excited, by the way, in just a couple of months, the NCAA men's basketball tournament also coming to Enterprise Center, bringing even more tourists to the city. I love to see this because, many times St. Louis gets a bad rep. People say, I don't want to come to the city. There's crime, etc. Obviously, that means tourism went away. We don't see a bunch of conventions, etc. It is starting to come back. And here we go. Excited to see that. Please, St. Louis, be on your best behavior. Cross your fingers on that one, right? Well, this is sad. If you grew up watching the St. Louis Blues, then you know this legendary goalie. He led the Blues to the Cup finals in the team's first 3 seasons. Unfortunately, Glenn Hall has passed away, but he was 94 years old. Incredible. He played most of his Hall of Fame career with the Blackhawks, set the record for most consecutive starts in net with 502. After he retired, he joined the Blues as a goaltending coach. He was inducted into the Blues Hall of Fame just now we're into 2026. So just a few years ago, that was in 2023. Glenn Hall, rest in peace, and thank you for all you did for NHL and for the St. Louis Blues. Well, we talked about the Blackhawks that he played with. Unfortunately, they demolished us last night. Did you see the score? Chicago beating St. Louis 7-3. Ouch. What is going on with our Blues? The Blues and the Mammoth tomorrow. Game time for that will be at 8 o'clock. Then it's the Blues and the Golden Knights. They're on the road Saturday, 9 p.m. start. All right, on tap for the National Day of Calendar. It's National Career Coach Day, National Winter Skin Relief, put that lotion on, National English Toffee Day. What the heck is this? National Joy Germ Day. Okay, that one I've never heard of. All right, this made me want to have the dogs jump in the bathtub. National Bubble Bath Day, and it is National Argyle Day. There you go. A lot squeezed into the opening of our show. And now you are up to date. If there's anything that you saw that's out there that you think our community needs to talk about, feel free to drop it in. I am excited, by the way, of this new pet-friendly business that's opening up for all of you that are dog fans. It's going to open up at the site of the closed Bar K. You've been waiting to see what's going to happen here, right? A new sign did go up saying Canine Garden. And according to the social media accounts I was looking at and their website, the business will be similar to Bar K. Memberships will be available. Canine Garden, by the way, currently working to hire staff. They hope to open by the end of January. I think that's going to be good news for a lot of you because a lot of people were upset when they saw Bar K closing. All right, we're going to take our break. We usually start our show with our guest right about 7:15, so we're right on target. When we come back, we're going to talk with Angie Hess with Spas and More, Michael Phelps' new series, 30 Years. Oh, there's so much to talk about. Don't go anywhere. Angie, our guest, when we return.
Thankful to Monica for having me on the show here today. I just love having the opportunity to try and help other people. There are a lot of people in my life that were there for me in my time of need, and that was important for me today to Talk to Monica about that. You can get low and then work yourself back up to where you want to be, and people around you can help you do that. Surround yourself with the right people. That's what Monica tries to do here with this show. In fact, I know that's what she wants to do, is she wants people that are like-minded to help each other, to point each other in the right direction, to lift each other up, not put each other down. It was amazing for me to sit in here and talk with Monica, and hopefully it helps somebody along the way. I know that every show that she puts on is fantastic. It's worth your while to be tuning in every single day. Don't worry about some of the negativity around the world, whether it's on TV and this, that, the other. Tune in here to Monica and let her tell her story as well as her guests tell their story. There's always something that you can get from somebody else. And if you pick up just one little thing that helps you, that makes this a success. And that is why I'm here with Monica today.
Well, welcome back, and thank you, Jamie Rivers, former St. Louis Blue, by the way, for the nice comments. We love what we do on this show, and we hope that even if it's one thing you pull away, that it puts you in a better mood as you're starting your day. Welcome back. Time to talk a little wellness. We're going to get into a lot of things, but we're going to start off kind of checking in for the new year with our friend Angie Hess. If you've not seen her before, Angie is the owner of Spas and More. Hello, my friend. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, Monica. How are you?
Good. How was your holidays?
It was good. Very
Yeah?
good. Yeah.
I love it. Did you get anything really, really fun for Christmas, or did you do anything fun for the new year?
Oh, not really. Actually, just got some much needed rest.
Yes, that's an important part of wellness for sure. Well, it's good to see you. And for those that have not seen Angie in the past, she's been on with us. She's one of our wonderful sponsors. And we've been talking about Spas and More and all they can do for you. And the reason that we really partnered up is because we get it. We know it's more about the wellness aspect. By the way, Spas and More, if you haven't been, I highly recommend you stop in. They're located in Sunset Hills, 12957 Gravois Road. Their phone number is 314-843-7727. Better yet, go in. They're open 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Saturday, closed on Sunday for a little rest and relaxation. You can go and look online and check out the wonderful things they do at Spas and More STL or on the website spasandmorestl.com. So first of all, congratulations. A lot of really exciting things, not only for you, but for master spas in general. We've always been talking about the wonderful things about master spas. The thing that we all love for many reasons is the wellness side, but it's also made in the USA. And you got to love that. They also have this brand new logo that we're going to roll out. You're going to see a lot of this as well. So talk about the longevity of master spas and Spas and More.
Yeah, so Master Spa started in 1996 when they bought out the Fort Wayne spa division of Fort Wayne Pool and Spa and took over the spa building factory there, and it's just grown and grown. It's the largest producer of swim spas and hot tubs in the United States. It's centered in Fort Wayne, Indiana. This year they're celebrating 30 years. With that 30-year mark means some some new products, some new changes, a whole rollout of some updated line logos and stuff, including the Master Spa logo. So as we usher in the next 30 years, we're ushering in with a little bit more style and grace, I guess.
I love it. It's very contemporary. I mean, and you just look at the water and you're just wanting to like jump in going, oh, I got questions. I need something. Why, because people, when they're considering that, and maybe they went into the new year with some resolutions of really putting their wellness up top here, which is a great thing. And they're thinking about, all right, maybe I'm thinking about staying in shape. And instead of, joining somewhere that has a pool, I'm going to do it right in my backyard. I'm going to get a swim spa, or I'm going to get a hot tub. Why would they want to choose master spas over anything else? Because again, they're wanting to be directed and saying, well, why is master spas better than this one or that one? Tell them that.
So longevity in the industry itself. I mean, we are one of the manufacturers that have been in the industry longest. Jacuzzi, Sundance, Hot Springs have all been in. We're like the industry leaders. But as far as our innovation, our design, our constant desire to have the best product out there, we are still servicing tubs in our area that we put in place in 2000, 2001, and they're still working today. I mean, we build a high quality product, but not just that, we're also one of the remaining manufacturers here in the United States. The big manufacturers like Hot Springs, Sundance, Jacuzzi have all migrated a lot of their production away from the United States. So they're not necessarily getting the higher quality products, and we're still using as much wherever possible and as much as possible American suppliers so that we're building a top quality product.
I love that. I did not know that. Yeah, I mean, I had a hot tub in the past, and a hot springs was. I did not realize that. You try to keep as much business in the USA as you possibly can. So I was drawn to partnering up with Spas and More for so many reasons. And when I walked in to their showroom, first of all, saw everything that they had to offer you, but then saw it on the wall, made in the USA. It was one of the very first things I took in the video. By the way, I was like, yes, we've got to talk about that.
Right.
So we talk about Michael Phelps. By the way, have you met him?
Yes, several times.
So tell me, is he, because people always think about their favorite actors, actresses, athletes. Tell me about his personality. Was he what you expected?
So the very first time that I was able to engage with Michael was right after Rio in 2016 when he was retiring.
Okay.
And so I've heard a lot of the rumors of his extracurricular activities and
Yep.
some of his diva type tendencies. And when we met him, he was really down to earth, but he really admitted himself as far as first thing he said was, guys, I've been through all these things and I've done all these things, and I realized that I was just, pardon the language, just basically a D, you know, for sense, we'll censor there. So he even admitted it himself. And then since from 2016, I've had the opportunity to engage with him and speak with him on multiple times, including when he finally came and opened up about his mental health struggles
Yeah.
and everything that he went through during his time as an Olympian and today. And he's taken all of those things and helped us design a line of wellness products to help people, just like him, who might be struggling, to have ways that they can recover, they can relax, they can reset their mental focus.
I love see, and we're all about being real on the show, right? At least admit, right? He admitted it, and then wants to make a change, wants to be a better person. I think it's hard, and again, who knows if it's your upbringing or what you're surrounded by. But when you're suddenly thrown into that type of success, and you're younger, and you're a guy, again, I'm not giving an out for that kind of behavior, but at least learn from it,
Right.
right? Yeah, admitting it. That's the greatest thing you can do. If you're tuning in right now, Angie Hess, again, Spas and More. And so let's talk about the swim spas. There's still a lot of people that are like, I don't understand. What is a swim spa? Well, we're going to explain it to you. And then this new model that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, so a swim spa is actually designed for swimming against a current, so that you're able to do a maintained swim. It's not designed for sprint swimming or anything to that nature, but it's the same effect that you're getting if you're going to a pool and swimming laps. It's an endurance swim, it's a strength swim, and you're actually just swimming in place, but you're swimming against a current that can be modified to be as slow as you need it or as fast as you need it to get more resistance. And you can also, in those swim spas, not just swim, but you can also walk, run, Zumba, exercise, row, everything against that current, because that current's going to give you resistance to help build muscle and help, just help your body. The best thing that I find about a swim spa is because of my health issues, I can't do traditional, like going to a gym, walking on a treadmill for a half hour, 45 minutes, doing miles and miles and miles because my body just can't handle it. I can go in a swim spa and I can do the same activity, the same cardio workout and everything, and minimize the pressure that is on my joints instead of my, almost my 295 pounds hitting my joints and my feet and my legs and my knees every time I step on a treadmill or just walk down the street. I'm getting 2 pounds of pressure on all of those joints. So it's much easier for me to move, it's much easier for me to exercise, and then I'm getting the same type of workout I would be just doing like a treadmill.
Absolutely. And a lot of people, when they are thinking, okay, I want to stay in shape, but this is harder on me. What can I do? Get in the water. Water therapy is amazing. And again, a lot of people are thinking, well, maybe I don't want to be around a bunch of people. I want to have, and that's probably one of the biggest decisions. What do you find, by the way, Angie, is the reason that most people finally pull the trigger and say, yeah, I want this in my backyard?
So COVID is actually what
Ah,
sparked swim spas becoming more mainstream and norm. Because I can't go to the gym and I don't want to be around people and I need to do something. I can't take my trip. I can't take my vacation. So it became the desire to improve your life at home. How
mhm.
many people invested their vacation money into redoing their house or redoing their backyard or adding this or adding that? So the swim spa became that center focus. So I can get the exercise I need. I can get the family time that I want because now that COVID is not no longer there, but we're not locked down.
Right.
We don't have that mandatory family time anymore. So that's what it's more becoming.
Mm.
It's becoming a way to not only get the exercise that we need, but it's also becoming a way to enjoy time with the family.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that back up because, when I was covering news, yes, we were talking about everybody building their oasis in their backyard because they were home, stuck home, some for a year, year and a half, some for a couple of years, some still working from home. So you think about being there with the family unit. I mean, you saw that picture, right? The kids, they're smiling. They say, yes, mom and dad, buy me a swim spa. So the new series, by the way, that is just coming out with the Michael Phelps series, is that just launching?
Yes, so we've had the Michael Phelps Legends series since 2014, but we're bringing back for the 30th anniversary the original LSX model that put Master Spas on the map with the Whirlpool Extreme seat with the lounger, Master Blaster foot jets. This is the original tub that Master Spa produced back in 1996 and introduced Master Spas to the world. So we're bringing that back for our 30th anniversary, but we're bringing it back with a twist. It has all the same features as our other Legend series tubs with the lounger, the molded legs. The Legend series was actually developed with Michael Phelps's influence. This version of it, but what we've added to it is making that extreme whirlpool seat and adding a variable speed pump in there, which is the same type of pump that we use in our Challenger swim spas. That's going to give you a lot more adjustability and pressure. It's going to give you a lot better massage, but the entire tub itself has 63 jets. Um, it's absolutely just amazing, and it's one of the best recovery tools on the market.
There you go. Again, you've been hearing Angie talk about these things. Now it's time for you to pull the trigger, or at least go in. The greatest thing would be just go in to have a discussion, right? It's kind of like anybody needing like a consultation. Angie, you can meet with Angie and say, right, this is what I'm going through. And then she can guide you so that you don't feel lost. Because sometimes people walk in, they're overwhelmed, or they go to shows and they see all these incredible spas and they're like, I don't even know where to begin. I mean, they're wonderful, but what do I need for myself? So yeah, you go in right away. And as I said, this was one of the first things I took. World's largest hot tub and swim spa manufacturer. This is what you'll see when you walk in to Spas and More. But you got to get in there, right? Then let them help you. So if you have not been, one more time, here is the address. They're located in Sunset Hills, 12957 Gravois Road in Sunset Hills, 9 a.m. to 5 Monday through Saturday and closed on Sunday. Again, check them out, spasandmorestl.com. Check them out from the comfort of your home. Then go in and meet with Angie and her team. My friend, thank you. I already feel calmer.
Well, Well, we look forward to seeing you soon, Monica, and anybody else. We are celebrating 20 years for Spas and More.
Yeah.
My dad opened the doors to Spas and More in 2006, and he's actually been selling Master Spas since 1996. He was one of Master Spa's first traveling salespeople. So we are looking forward to a wonderful 2026, and we'll have special 20-year deals going all season long. But we'll also be having a 20-year party, so stay tuned.
Oh, a party. Who doesn't love a good party? And a party in a hot tub at that.
Exactly.
All right. I hope I get my invite.
Oh, you will.
So 20 years with Spas and More, 30 years. Again, Master Spas, a lot of celebration. Again, for all of you, if you have any questions, reach out to Angie directly. Angie, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody. So we're talking about wellness today. We're talking about those of you that struggle with perfection. Okay. So that's what we're going to get into. And I'd love for you to be interactive with us. Why? Why does that help out the community? Because someone needs to know that they're not dealing with this alone. Right. So many people think I'm going through this, or you feel like you're going to be judged if you say, yes, I'm a perfectionist. So all I'm going to ask you right now, we're going to take a quick break. And as we go into the break, I want you to say, I'm a perfectionist. Okay. Now I will start it. I'm a perfectionist. However, I learned to break myself from a lot of things. Am I perfect? No. And that's the point of all of this. Absolutely no one will ever reach perfection. If you were a perfectionist, have you worked on it? And if so, what steps have you taken? Because that will really help the community. So drop in right now. Yes, you can literally just put yes or no, or put I am or I was a perfectionist. We're going to work on helping you find some grace. Right. So the whole aspect and the theme of today's show is conquering the perfectionism in a new light, releasing control, embracing grace, finding the balance, and thriving. That is the aspect of life, not surviving, but truly thriving. So let's be honest together. Yes, no, I was, I am, Monica, I need help. Well, I'm here for you. And that's what the show's all about for the next half hour.
This lady got me in the best shape of my life. I literally didn't know that I could be in shape like that. But the amount that she pours into her clients, and especially whenever you get the one-on-one training, it's mind-blowing. I mean, it was really life-changing. I learned so much about proper form, about nutrition, about just being able to invest in myself. I hired Monica to be my personal trainer, which was one of the best decisions I've ever made.
And many times we do put up on the screen that we can help you. Let us physically, mentally, spiritually. What does that look like? So I have one-on-one training. I have semi-private training that I do. In fact, I've got a private client coming up here in about an hour and a half. So if you're struggling, if you've gone to gyms and you feel lost, and maybe you feel like you're not being seen or heard by your trainer, reach out to me. I do semi-private more than I do one-on-one. Obviously, I can help more people. It's more inexpensive for you. I also am a life coach and have been for about 20 years. So I do a lot of one-on-one with that and help you from a mental, physical, spiritual, complete triangle. Again, I want you to be the best version of you and help in any way we can. So my email's on the screen here, info@therealmonicaadams.com. Let us help you out. All right, before we get into that talk, I just want to give you an idea of some things coming up where we can meet in person. Next week, Wednesday, we're going to have so much fun with this. And if you've never seen one of these, it really has become one of the favorite shows of my audience. It is the Vault Luxury Makeover Show. It's next Wednesday, 8 a.m. So we will not have a show at 7 a.m. So look for us at 8 a.m. on Wednesday. Jenny Gabriel and a couple of her friends are going to be the models for that day as well. One of my clients, Danielle, a dear friend of hers. By the way, if you've never been to the Vault, they're at 2325 South Brentwood Boulevard in the Brentwood area. Right now, they are buying spring and summer handbags and shoes and jewelry and apparel and accessories Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. So if you've never been, first of all, you're just going to love to see all the gorgeous luxury they have, not at the luxury price. But then it's an opportunity for you to go through, get organized, right? Big New Year's resolution, go through your closet and see what you have that you don't you don't need any longer. Spring is what they're buying for you right now. And again, they'll go through spring and summer and tell you, yes, we can buy this or we can't buy that. And if it comes down to where some of it, your leftover, they're not able to take it, they will have it back to you, or they will tell you that they work with different charities and they can take it and donate it to them. So I really love what they do. We'll talk more about that for you coming up. Again, next Wednesday is the big makeover show. Then, for those of you that are wanting to see us in person, we would love to see you. We are going to be at Apricot Lane Boutique, and this will be our Mobile Monica in February 10th. That's going to be a 4 p.m. show. So come out, shop with us. Again, beautiful clothes. This is what a couple weeks ago when I stopped by, I took the footage. It was still around the holidays. So some of this might already be transitioned out. I would almost guess it is, or some of it might be in a discounted aspect as they get ready to bring in spring. We're going to have that transition. And I'm excited because there are many boutiques that said, Monica, I want to carry your candles. And Apricot Lane is one of them. So she brought in the memories around the tree, but more importantly, she's got what we're doing right now, which is Embers at the Cottage. So if you've been looking for my Be Kind candles, stop into Apricot Lane Boutique in O'Fallon, right off of 40 in Winghaven. If she's already sold those, I'll have to check in with her to see if she has any left. If not, they have them at Oh My Posh Boutique in Cottleville, as well as the Craft Cottage. So that's where you can find them, or you can go on my website, therealmonicaadams.com. By the way, I didn't get a chance to say hello to all of you. Christy and Kathleen were on very early right away. Good morning, Sean and Julie. Let's see, that's me. I'm a control freak with OCD. Christy, thank you for being honest. Linda, good morning. Karen, good morning. Babs, hello. Stephanie, this makes me sad. My sister works downtown Minneapolis. They closed their law office early yesterday. That had to do with the ICE shooting that we talked about at the beginning. Luckily, she can work from home. Richard, but remember, alcohol is not for breakfast. It shouldn't be. I don't blame Joel Hofer for not coming in the game after they pulled Bennington. All right. Linda, today is also, oh my gosh, how did I miss that one? How did they not have that in that? The King's birthday. The happy heavenly birthday, Elvis Presley. I think you've heard me talk about this before. My father went to high school with him. Cindy Barton looks like a new name I have not seen. Hello, Cindy. Thanks for tuning in. Good morning, Julie Purcell. Richard, I joined the YMCA on Tuesday and had a trainer show me about 10 different stretches to do. So I did nothing but stretch. Oh my gosh, I love this. For about 20 minutes. My butt cheeks are so sore, I can barely sit down. What's up with that? My body just doesn't work like others. Well, yeah, he's been through a lot with his back, by the way. But oh my gosh, I love to hear that. More and more men understanding the importance of stretching, Pilates, yoga. Your body will feel so much better. Trust me. Linda, I am a perfectionist, but my favorite phrase is let it go. Now, if I could just practice that more often. Okay, well, I'm going to give you some tools to do just that. Rose says, no perfectionist. I'm as good as it's going to get us. Okay, for all of you, everybody that's watching, I want you to be honest. Again, it's not just Linda and Rose and Christy. Don't you think we all have a little touch of it? Or honestly, are some of you saying, nope, I'm going to teach you all? I learned a long time ago. Maybe you learned through your parents or learned as a kid to not ever strive to be perfect. Maybe you were taught at a very young age that you're never going to get there. I love to hear that, by the way, because for a lot of us, I probably heard it, but I maybe didn't listen to it. And perfectionism's negative effects is what we're going to talk about in the beginning here. It includes significant mental health issues like anxiety, as well as depression, burnout, right? Low self-esteem because you're never, ever reaching that. It stems from very unrealistic standards and that fear of failure, if we're all being honest, right? We don't want to fail. And so we put so much pressure on ourselves. That leads to procrastination, perfection paralysis, right? Difficulty enjoying success. It actually harms your relationship, more so with yourself first and foremost, but then it really does carry over to the relationships around you through excessive criticism. You're constantly criticizing yourself. Listen to your own self-talk, by the way, right? If you stand in a mirror and you look at how you're talking to yourself, I would like you to hear, would you talk like that to someone else? Then why do you do it to yourself, right? You got to take care of you. So that excessive criticism, tension, it creates not only the mental strife, but honestly, physical problems. Think about headaches, stress headaches that come from that. It decreases productivity from a personal standpoint, from a professional standpoint. It delays your tasks. It prevents completion. You're always rushing. You never feel like you are making yourself happy. You're never getting to the perfection aspect, right? So then you stop that task. You try to take on another one. You try to make that one perfect. It's exhausting. So breathe. I was working with some clients on this the other day. We talk a lot about, do you do the breathing techniques? So when you start to breathe, to me, from an oxygen level, it starts to find more clarity. Then you start seeing, oh my gosh, not that you want to tell yourself you're a fool, but a wake up. Honestly, it's more of a wake up call, right? So anxiety, stress, constant worry about mistakes and failure, not measuring up, it creates chronic stress and anxiety disorders. Why do you think when we're on set and I ask for the 100 Days to Freedom books, which one do you want me to read from? And fear and anxiety is always chosen. Almost always, very high percentage. In fact, we only have 2 days left and we will be done with that book, which means we should be releasing that fear and anxiety. And then we'll go into the stress and we'll go into the anger and the depression and the overeating. Depression, by the way, feelings of inadequacy. That happens with the perfectionism mentality. Worthlessness, right? Hopelessness. Often accompanying the inability to meet the impossible standards. Because again, it's impossible. Once you tell yourself that, I think it's a release. It is impossible to ever be perfect. Come to terms with it and then start taking the steps. Because otherwise you have low self-esteem, right? Self-worth. We talk about value. Self-worth, though, it becomes tied to that flawless achievement and it leads to harsh self-criticism. As well as that feeling of failure. And then you're burning out, right? It's that all or nothing mentality. And that leads to overworking. Do all of you overwork? Do you bring it home with you? Can you not let it go? That's been me for a long, long time. It sacrifices your own self-care. You're not putting you first. You're not getting your workouts in. You're working so hard. You're not stopping to eat properly. So then you're snacking. You don't even realize it. It's mindless eating. And eventually it's just pure exhaustion. Does this sound like you? Am I hitting home here? So, Christy says, I've been told I have too much attention to detail. Interesting. Rose, few of my friends are like that. They drive me crazy. They are people with careers like you. I get it. Okay, so I have some friends that are very OCD. And here's what I'm going to tell you. Here's how you work with them. Let them. Okay, let them. It really falls into that theory that we came up with a few years ago. Ours was more so about let them watch you succeed. Let them watch you fail. Let them watch you pick yourself back up. Those, though, that have that attention to over detail, right? The high OCD aspect, they're picking on everything. I don't see negativity. People will say, hey, did you look at this? Or they'll look at flaws, what they consider flaws in someone's character, or flaws in someone's appearance. And I sit there and go, yeah, I don't see that. Right. So I have people that, look at that person's nose, or look at that person's teeth, or look at this on their face, or look at that. Oh, look at that scar. And I was like, wow, I've known that person for years. I've never seen it. Why? Because I see the beauty that God put in that person. I don't see, oh my gosh, this is wrinkled. Oh my gosh, you got this. Why are you picking so much? Stay in your own lane. So for those, maybe I can help you with this. For those that have that, take care of yourself. If that person wanted to do that, I will say this. If somebody has something in their teeth, obviously tell them because they don't know about it. If they have a tag showing in their back, go ahead and tuck it in, or tell them, hey, don't just touch people. They don't like that sometimes. Hey, you got a tag. I'm going to put it in for you. Oh, thank you so much. But the constant picking on someone, the constant, oh my gosh, why didn't you do this? Or why didn't you do that? Or you go to, this used to happen. You go to somebody's home and I would hear somebody go, hey, you have dust in your vent. Or hey, you have a wrinkle here. Oh, who cares? Gosh, just let it go. Relax, be with them. They don't want you to come over and judge them or judge their home. They want you to enjoy time with them. Am I hitting home here? Is this you? Have you been picked on, or are you the person? It kind of goes into what we talked about yesterday, the bullying mentality. You understand that it is a little bit of bullying. They don't really care. They have lived their lives for years before you had to be that person that starts picking on them. If you are the person that gets picked on, how does it make you feel, by the way? Right? Does it feel you feel like you're less than? Oh my gosh, is something wrong with me because I didn't see this attention to detail? Let them. Okay, that's in that let them theory. Weigh in on this for me, please. I'd love to know the interaction on that. Linda says, I was not a perfectionist as a child, but when I met my husband, he was, and it rubbed off. Oh, that's interesting. Now we both are OCD in our own ways. We make a good pair. Okay, Linda, tell me though, what is the OCD? What is the biggest part of it? And I think that's interesting because my husband very much is. There are friends around me that are, and it doesn't seep into me. because I stay who I am. I'm true to me. I see them and I smile and I just think it sounds, I leave it out here. Okay, so I let them be in their lane. I stay in my lane. I sit there and go, oh my gosh. Actually, we were driving home last night and I was listening to things that Jim picks up on, that all I hear is the stress goes up, right? The breathing changes, the negativity surrounds. And I just sit there and smile. And then at one point, when we were driving home from, again, if you didn't hear The Outsiders, incredible, 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 go see it. He at some point said, what's wrong? And I said, nothing. And he's like, oh, were you just sitting there? And I'm like, I'm being quiet. I'm breathing. I'm calm. So trying to get in that calm state and not see what you think is negativity around. It's not, just drive, relax, enjoy the beauty of nature. I don't care about what everybody else is doing. I'm paying attention, right? I'm seeing if there's some craziness in driving or whatever, but I'm not going to yell at them, because all it does is raise your own stress level. Do you agree with that? Linda says, I am never objective to someone else. It's to each his own mentality. Okay, good. Again, just keep it to yourself. Again, if you're in that boat, allow it to be you. It's when it tries to seep into someone else that I think it's taken to a level that it shouldn't. So if you are just tuning in, about 15 more minutes, we're talking about the dangers of perfectionism. And so let me talk about this. Some behavioral and productivity issues. So procrastination, we touched on that a little bit. That's the fear of imperfect results, preventing starting tasks, leading to delays, missed opportunities. Again, I talked about perfection paralysis is really what it is. So it decreases your productivity at your home, not being able to do the chores that you want to. You're racing around, not being able to finish the projects at your job. The time spent on making something perfect can actually result in fewer tasks completed. Let me ask this as I get to know my community. When you vacuum, and maybe somebody else vacuums in the home, or maybe you go to somebody's house, do you judge? Do you actually, I hope you don't say it, because that's where I think it's taken to a level of why. But when you're vacuuming, do you have to go slow and put the lines in the carpet? Were you taught that? When you are cutting grass. Now, I do think it looks cool outside, but here's why I don't do the lines, because you're going to walk on it immediately. Okay. You hope that when someone walks in the house, they see, oh my gosh, that looks pretty. And if you have dogs, it lasts for what? A couple of minutes? Why? Just vacuum. The main aspect of vacuuming, get the dirt up. I don't get, to me, I can get so much more done. I can vacuum this whole house in the time sometimes that I see Jim work on our den, or excuse me, on our great room. And he's doing, and I'm like, okay, let him do him. And then I'm going to get every other room done in the same time it took to do that one room. So it's so funny, but here's the thing. I don't go to him and say, don't do that while you're doing that. I just smile and let him do it, because that makes him happy. But this is where it changes. If someone tells you, well, this is how you should do it, says who? That is what I really want to get across today. Says who? Who is the person who says it has to be done this way or that way? Do it your way. Whatever makes you happy, but stay in your lane, folks. If you are the one that wants to vacuum the house, then vacuum the house. And if somebody else goes to take it off of your plate, because really that's kindness, they are doing it. Or let's use folding laundry. Jim does it amazing. And I love it. If it feels so cumbersome and he doesn't want to do it, and then I fold, what do you think should happen in that scenario? Let me fold them the way I fold them. I don't need to fold them the way he folds, right? These are all scenarios that I wonder if they pop up at your home. If somebody is taking that chore off of your plate, let them do it the way they do it. If you want to go ahead and change it afterwards, change it. But it really feels like, why? Why are you making more work for yourself or for others, or having them believe that what they did wasn't good enough? All these scenarios I really try to bring up to honestly also keep arguments from happening, because that's usually what I see, tension. And it's like, just breathe and let them do it their way. You do it your way. And if you don't like the way they do it, then you're going to have to take on that entire chore, and then don't grumble about it because you didn't like the way they did it. Is this resonating? I want to hear from you. Okay, so let's see. Growing up in a big family is hard to be that way. Too much confusion, Linda says. When I went out on my own, I wanted that perfection. Okay, so you were seeking it. Over the years, we have relaxed. Rose, I have never had someone point out I have dust. If I did, they would not be invited back. Amen. I'd feel like I have to be a certain way for someone. My house is clean enough to be happy. I have a cousin who will not come to my house because I have dogs. She's missing out. Amen. But I'm okay with that. Older you get, it's harder to be perfect. It's hard to be perfect, period, because you're never going to be. Yep. Okay. Linda just said my carpet has to be perfect lines until I step on it. All right, Christy, I'm a perfectionist at work, but not so much at home. I work in healthcare, so my attention to detail comes from taking care of patients for so many years. Well, we hope that, yes, that not you're not going to be perfect. There could be a mistake that's made, but at least all that can ever be asked of you is that you give 100%. And again, if you're feeling bad, you have a fever, your 100% looks different than 100% when you're healthy. You understand that? But one of the 4 agreements, and I love that book, by the way, I have this. I didn't even think about this. I didn't even know I was going to bring it up. But the 4 agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz. So the book is what I've always loved, and I've had a lot of my clients read it. But this is a 48 card deck that you can pull from. And we'll pull from this today when we do our end of show. And then I'll also read an excerpt from one of the devotionals. But the 4 agreements, and one of them that I love is always do your best. Be impeccable with your word is a great one as well, but always do your best. Think about that. He does not say be perfect. He does not say always be perfect. He says always do your best. Think about that and think about the change and the relaxation that can happen for you when you make that shift. Rose says, Jim folds clothes. Does Jim have a brother? He does fold clothes because he is more OCD and controlling. So he does it very, what I would consider, he wasn't in the military, but it's that military mindset, that police officer mindset. He also is very big on, he loves a clean house, right? So he likes to fold. He likes to do the dishes instead of putting them in a dishwasher. He likes to vacuum. Let's see. He actually likes to get down on his hands and knees and polish the floor. We share those though, right? So he'll do the chore and I'll do the chore. What I ask for in him though is the main thing here as you hear this is when I'm doing the floor, when I'm vacuuming, when I'm doing the laundry, let me do it the way that I do it. Otherwise, you can have it all, right? So you have to think about that. If someone wants to control someone, and I hope this helps you with your relationships, when you start to control someone, that person just gets frustrated and then they say, do it, go ahead, but never have an issue with the fact that it's now all on you. Okay, think about that. So he has relinquished control in that respect. And when I fold the laundry, when I do the carpet, when I do the dishes, it is my way, right? You do your way. If you want to change it all when you get to your laundry and put them away differently and refold them, that's on you. But at least I'm helping. To me, it's that back and forth, take on the chores together. Linda says, I like my laundry folded in a certain way. Jim is a terrible folder. That's her Jim. But I don't object. He's doing it. Yes, I did try to show him how, but I failed. All right, Rose, I don't know if my husband knows where the washer is. Okay, well, let's ask this, Rose. What are his chores? What are your chores? It used to be, Jim, you do the outside, I'll do the inside. And I would love to go back to that. Like, let me do the inside of the home. You do the stuff out there. And if you need some help, then I'll come and help you. I like that, right? Let's do shared chores, shared opportunities together. It also gives you the space to spend time together more, which is what, when you relinquish control and you say, all right, you know what? And somebody said it earlier, the older you get, the more you release that. And I think I see that. It's like, no more do you have to be so crazy controlling and OCD. When you relinquish control, I'm telling you right now, there's so much grace in that. And that's one of the things I want to discuss today was give yourself some grace. Give others in your family that same grace, though, because again, I just see the productivity go down when there's so much control. Achievements, by the way, are minimized by focusing on minor flaws. And it is minor. Those are minor things. The grand scheme of it all, spend time together. Get back to that love. These are minor flaws that you're seeing in your brain that they don't see. Or the next impossible goal. That's difficulty enjoying the success. So strained relationships, right? Unrealistic expectations and criticism for the self and others, causing tension, conflict, and emotional distance, fear of judgment, disapproval, all leading to avoiding each other, avoiding social situations, social anxiety, actually. And I talked about the physical side of how it affects you. Chronic stress can manifest as migraines. So think about that. Are you having digestive issues, headaches, migraines? You feel some tightness in your chest, your breathing's off, fatigue, you have sleep problems. Stress-related illnesses all happen by this danger of perfectionism. It's linked to more severe conditions, by the way. Think about this. Eating disorders like anorexia, bulimia, obsessive compulsive disorder. Some of you said, all right, I'm going to admit I'm OCD. Those are linked to some more severe consequences. In extreme cases, it's associated with self-harm and Suicidal ideation, by the way. And that's the dangers of the perfectionism mindset. So, we talk a lot about wellness as a movement. We talk about recovery. We talk about nutrition. We talked about the new guidelines, by the way. Real wellness, though, starts right here in the mind. All right. I'm trying to introduce this idea to you today to maybe have you think a certain way. Maybe today you take just one thing that really impacted you and start to realize that maybe that's where the strain in the relationship has come from. So the high achievement, the high pressure, by the way, not the same thing. High pressure tactics and then values, and I'm going to set goals for myself. That's high achievement. Over here, the high pressure leads to all the negative things that we've been talking about. So acknowledge it. First thing, right? You think about anybody, think about an AA meeting. They step up and say, I am an alcoholic, or in a drug. I've been using drugs. So acknowledge the perfectionism, admit it. It often disguises itself, by the way, as discipline, ambition. That's what it was for me. Doing the right thing, doing what others are expecting from me. By the way, perfectionism is not something that some people ever are able to release unless they start to work on it. So I'm hoping that I can get to you before your last breath on earth to start giving you a calmer way. It's rooted in fear, by the way. It's not excellence. Perfectionism, I'm going to stress this again. Perfectionism is rooted in fear, not excellence. Think about that. It creates chronic stress, burnout, decision paralysis, a constant feeling of never enough. It moves that finish line, by the way. There's no arrival point. Okay, that's a really big one for you to understand. Think about someone running or cycling or any kind of a sport. There is no finish line when you think you're going to be perfect, because you never reach it. Never. I'm trying to tell you this today. You will never be perfect. Once you realize that, then you can cross that finish line, because then there is an arrival point. It's just high standards for yourself, and that's the flip that I made of I'm not going to be perfect ever, and I want to start getting life done. And now I have an arrival point. Now I'm here. Now I've arrived, right? It often disconnects us from joy, creativity, presence. Why? Because you're judging yourself, you're judging others. Where in your life, by the way, are you chasing perfect instead of healthy? It's a good question for you to think about. And you can answer it right now in the comments, or maybe you sit on that one with journaling today. Where in your life are you chasing perfect instead of healthy? So peak performance comes from consistency, not punishment. Pressure-based motivation, it works short-term. It damages your long-term sustainability. The high-pressure tactics that you put on yourself. Think about this. I can't rest until everything is done, right? The mind is racing, so you're not sleeping well. If I slow down, I'll fall behind. Is this you? I should be further along by now. All these things, right? And we can hear it in my breathing. It just raises you up here, and I'm trying to pull you back down into calmness and clarity. So reframe that a little way. Pressure drains energy. Purpose and alignment fuel it. So you don't want to be drained. You want to be fueled and energized. And so the art of grace that I want to bring in before we wrap up, and I'm going to revisit this conversation from a couple years ago. Grace is not quitting, folks. It's not quitting. It's not lowering your standards. It's changing the relationship with oneself. You change your relationship with you and watch how your relationships get better with everybody else. Grace allows learning instead of self-criticism, progress instead of perfection, compassion instead of control. Think about this. Grace says, I can hold myself accountable without punishing myself. Are you constantly punishing you? And then what happens is you punish everybody else, your kids, your spouse, your friends, your coworkers. So control often comes from a need for certainty and safety and belonging. But over-control leads to anxiety, rigidity, exhaustion. Releasing control, it does not mean chaos. It means trust. It really does. You're trusting yourself. You're trusting your heart. You're trusting your decisions. Trust in your preparation. Trust in your body. Trust in your intuition. Trust in the process. Maybe another thing for your journaling today, ask yourself, what am I gripping too tightly right now? And then you think about that white knuckle, right? Let go. This just doesn't even feel like how I want to live life. I want to release that. Wellness thrives when we replace force with flow, right? That constant let it flow. Shift from I have to I get to. All or nothing to something is enough. Push harder, listen better, right? Listen better, be a better listener. Sustainable success requires recovery mentally and physically. So movement should support your life. Support it, not dominate it, by the way. I said support it. True wellness is about longevity, recovery, mental resilience, enjoyment. I want you to enjoy life. So when you release perfection, you open that door to freedom. Doesn't it sound better? Freedom and fulfillment. So I'm going to close on this. What if success wasn't about doing more, but about giving yourself permission to be human. That is one of the greatest takeaways I can give you today. What if success wasn't about doing more, but about giving yourself permission to be human? I encourage you to choose grace over pressure this week. Grace over pressure. Where can you practice a little more grace today? These are all things that you can, as we wrap up the show, you can drop it in now, drop in some comments. I like you to think about these though. Like, always talk about marinating on it. And then maybe later you come back to the show, you listen to it again, you hear the message again, and then you drop in, Monica, I'm watching it on a second or third replay and I get it now. And you answer the question, where can you practice a little more grace today? Think about all of this. I hope this helped you. And as I mentioned, again, the 4 agreements. If you've never read the book, I think it's a beautiful book. So I'm just going to pick right here in the middle. Let's pick this one today. It rose to the top. Real love is accepting other people the way they are. Oh my gosh. Come on. Is this not God-given right now? You saw that. I pulled right in the middle of the deck. Real love is accepting other people the way they are without trying to change them. If we try to change them, this means that we don't really like them. It's easier to find someone who is already the way you want him or her to be instead of trying to change that person. Boy, did that fit right in with today. Relinquish the need to change others. Relinquish the need to be perfect. Relinquish the need to be right. Oh, whoo, I love that. Okay. When you met Jim, he would have your glass washed and put away if you left the room. I did teach him to relax about that. That's our policy. If you don't like my way, do it yourself. We share stories inside and out. You found your voice. I love that. Oh, Aunt Tootie, I love you. Good morning. Dolores Hurd, by the way, is my Aunt Tootie. Letting go is sometimes hard, but needs to be learned. Good morning. I love you. Stephanie, when I was at my sister's, she spoiled me. I told her I'm independent. I love her, so I let her do things for me. See, calmness. Linda, edit that when I met him. Too fast typing, no problem. Babs, perfection. You haven't lived until you see a police officer iron his uniform. OMG. So Babs, it's not even that. I will go beyond that to say you have to see the police officer put it on. So yes, they're ironing. They're putting all of however many medals they have, right? It's the same thing with military, but it's also putting it on. And then I love, honestly, watching polishing the shoes. It's the attention to detail. I love attention to detail. What I don't love is control. I love attention to detail. But yes, going beyond the ironing, it's putting it on and seeing it all put together. And it's beautiful, right? It is beautiful. It's not perfect. It's beautiful. I'd love to say, you can't though, by the way. A person who wants perfectionism, if you start to tell them, oh my gosh, it's going to make them start all over again. If I say, oh, actually, this is a little sideways, it would make him probably take the whole thing off and start over, right? So I let it go. Let it go. So what? If there is something that's a little bit, which probably isn't because they're trying to get it all lined up, but even if they miss something, let it. Let them understand that it's not perfect. Rose said, I'm joking. My husband's a great supporter of mine, but I do most of the chores. And if I get ridiculed how I do it, Rose, don't do it again. Follow me for my tips. Is Jim for hire? Help me clean my apartment. No, he's not. Thanks, Monica, for making us think. You're welcome. Linda, favorite phrase, I am perfectly imperfect. Yep, see? She relinquished control. Audra, when is too soon when dating? Do you ask if they do all the laundry and dishes? Is a first date too soon? I think I want this trait in another, and I promise I will let them do it their way. You know what? Have a discussion. This is a really good point. I'd like to do this on a future show. Dating. When you are on a first date, ask the questions, ask the important questions, because it may save you from a second, third, fourth, fifth date with a person that is definitely thinking different than you. So it used to be that you would just go there, oh, I'm going to be all prim and proper, show who you really are. And I hope they show who they really are. And, enjoy time, but start asking some big questions. Don't just go there and just go through the motions. Ask the questions, and have fun with it. You want to find out, does that person, how are they? How do they keep their home? Are they a slob? Because eventually when you get put together, it's probably going to create an issue. So yeah, what kind of questions? Let's do that on a future show. What kind of questions you ask on a first, second, and third date? I love that. Stephanie, I'm going to my ladies league meeting at church today. Have a great one. You're welcome. Good advice. Well, thank you. I hope so. Matt, best show ever. Please do more on this topic. It really hits home. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Actually, what I'll tell you, Matt, this is one of the reasons why, and I think, let me see here. You're following me on Facebook. Do me a favor, go over on YouTube as well and click follow and subscribe. Subscribe is free, by the way. It just means that you're subscribing, meaning that you'll get a notification when I go live. You want that because YouTube has the entire library of our shows. over 750 shows. And so you'll be able to go back and you can type in the dangers of perfectionism. I would highly recommend you go back and watch that show from a couple of years ago, because that's where the mindset started. That was a really powerful show. And I hear from a lot of people, it was one of their favorites, which made me want to revisit it today. So Matt and all of you, take this show, by the way, listen to it again. Bring it back up when you feel like you're slipping back into old ways. As well, go to the one that we originally did, because there will be some really good information you can pull from that as well. Matt, I absolutely will. Christy said, I agree. Really? Best show ever? Holy cow. That's a lot of pressure on me to measure up and do it again and again. Well, I will tell you this, Christy and Matt and everybody else, the reason you probably like this is how my show started. It was just us together. And it was very organic. And for the first couple of months, I was right here at home with you. I love these. And I will always promise you that this will never be replaced. There will always be at least one day in the week where it's just you and I. It's kind of like that private training, right? Or semi-private, because we have several of you in together. I will never, ever take that away from the show. I do love hearing other people's stories, which is why I go on set Monday and Tuesday. Doing the foodie shows. I love doing the wet your whistle. I love the fact that positive talk time is coming back. And I love the topics and the guests that you all ask for me to bring on, because again, we need to hear these stories of how people overcome. I really love my mobile Monicas. It gets me out to thank you all. And I hope you come to those, because I do want to meet you in person. I want to give you big hugs. If I've met you, I want to hug you again. And for the businesses, I want to support them. I want to be their solution. We're very big on the small business solution and taking our business with your business and giving you the spotlight, giving you what you deserve, and doing as much as we possibly can to get your name out there and for my loyal audience to support you. So yeah, Mobile Monica's sponsors of the show, starting new segments. I'd like to see what it would look like for us to do more of this. I hear you, right? So that's the big thing, is I'm listening and I want to do what you want more on the show. So you got it. More and more of this together. Audra, when you pulled the card and read it, the church bells rang across the street for me. Oh, come on. Drop the mic. Drop the mic right there. Are you serious? Oh, I just got chill with that. Richard said, great show, Monica. I love the interaction. I'm going to take my sore butt and take a warm bubble bath. Oh, I love it. Before I do my morning stretches. You're welcome. I love being here for you. I really, truly do. I mean, so this is what I ask you is, as you're watching, and I'm looking around at all the different platforms, do me a favor and take the show and take a part of it. When you share, it's great. But when you share with a note and say, hey, watch at this point. And maybe it was at 7:45, or for them, you would tell them 45 minutes into the show, listen to this. This really hit home. Maybe share it with someone that's struggling with the perfectionism and say, listen to this, right? The more you can do that, the more this has legs and this show reaches and reaches. And that's my goal, right? I'm not driven by money. I'm driven by changing the world. God put that on my heart. I truly believe he saved me to preach his word and the kindness that we can do. And now he's calling us. He's calling us to be the best versions of ourselves. He didn't say, I'm calling you to be perfect. He's calling you to be you. So let's see what he has to say today on this January 8th. Softly, I announce my presence. Shimmering hues of radiance tap gently at your consciousness, seeking entrance. Though I have all power in heaven and on earth, I am indefinitely tender with you. The weaker you are, the more gently I approach you. Let your weakness be adored in my presence. Whenever you feel inadequate, remember that I am your ever-present help. Hope in me, and you will be protected from depression and self-pity. Hope is like a golden cord connecting you to heaven. The more you cling to the cord, the more I bear the weight of your burdens. Thus, you are lighter. Heaviness is not of my kingdom. Cling to hope, and my rays of light will reach you through the darkness. So Psalm 46, verse 1 can give you a little bit more on that. You want to read up on Romans 12, verse 12, or Romans 15, verse 13. So take his word. Dig a little bit deeper into scripture and the Bible. Go into a Bible study. I'm really looking to, in 2026, be a part of that. Terry, thank you. She said, Terry says, great show. This is why I follow you. I appreciate that. Luann, best show. Love this topic. Holy cow. All right. Well, then guess what? We'll do more of it. All right. It's hit home with a lot of you. I like it. So how about you tell me this? If we do a part 3, part 4, what part of this would you like me to go deeper into? Because this is what I do, by the way, when I do my life coaching. It is that mental health coaching that allows, and it allows people to be honest with themselves, with me, with their friends, with their family. And it really helps them become the version that God wanted them to be. If you're not faith-based, it's okay. No judgment there. I'm just hoping that you find something that will help guide you and get you out of this state where it's not serving you. That's the greatest thing. Okay. All right. Tomorrow we have a Foodie Friday, a Friendship Friday, real estate talk. We have a big show. 2-hour show, by the way. So we start off with a little real estate talk with our wonderful real estate agent, Dot Fleshman. I know you love her. Thank you for supporting her. For those that are ready to buy, sell, please remember Dot Fleshman with Coldwell Banker Gundaker. So she kicks off our show, and then we get into some Friendship Friday talk. It'll actually kind of be a little bit of a carryover. I might even ask her about today's topic. Hers is more so about resolutions. Do they actually ever work? Okay, we're going to get into that in our friendship talk, and we'll tell you also about what's coming up in our February friendship talk. We then transition to our Foodie Friday, and you're going to love my guest. It's going to feel very much like a national talk show. She planned so much for us, and I can see that she has great attention to detail, not the perfectionism mindset, but attention to detail. She was a dream guest, by the way. So we'll be in the Slyman Brothers kitchen with multiple segments from a hosting standpoint, gift wrapping standpoint. So I told her, like, your gift wrapping is so much better than mine. She didn't judge my gift wrapping. It's more of, oh my gosh, you go to that level, right? It's a beautiful thing to watch when someone says, let you do it, right? This is what you do very well. We're also going to talk about baking. We're going to talk about cooking, so much. Okay. So Friendship Friday, real estate, Foodie. I hope you can be there. That's tomorrow. Christy wraps up with being a perfectionist is exhausting. Sometimes I feel like I have the weight of the world on my shoulders. Well, I hope you can start practicing some of the things that I taught you today. Start to release that control. Breathe. God bless you all. Be kind, and I'll see you tomorrow morning.